Gruesome Magazine.
Hello, once again. I am your host, Doc Rodden. This is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, Christopher G. Mohr, and myself will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing Dear David, which is available in theaters VOD on October 13th, 2023. That's right, Friday of the 13th.
Yeah.
All right, before we get into our review, let me introduce my crew, starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
Dear Doc, for the sixth night in a row, my cat has walked over to the door promptly at midnight and stared at it.
No.
And I don't even have a cat.
Shut the fuck
Or
up.
door. It's really weird.
No. Dear
Sorry.
God.
That's the
No,
cat.
it's funny.
The cat
Actually,
is- yeah.
You're doing a good job.
Yep.
You're doing much better than me, Jeff.
Also joining us this week
Oh,
is Crystal Cleveland, the living dead girl. How you doing?
I'm fabulous. I am.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I love Fabuloso. That's what I use to clean my floors. I love the way it smells. So.
Not a sponsor.
This is another rock I've been under. What is Fabuloso?
That's a
What? Do y'all know what Fabuloso is, right?
The Harry Potter spell.
Oh, that. Okay.
No,
Y'all don't? Oh, maybe
no,
this
I
is
know
like,
what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it smells super good. Like,
Super.
actually, it's great. Like, okay, so if you want your whole house to smell good, quick tips by Crystal. You basically like plug up your drain and put some Fabuloso and some water in your sink and just let it sit there, and the whole house smells good. And it smells clean and fresh. It smells like you just.
I have no
cleaned.
doubt my wife knows what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't really care what the house smells like.
Oh, yeah. Since she has a cat. Rounding out the crew is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr.
Dear Dave Dreher, why are you not on the podcast today? Because Crystal keeps talking about Fabulosa. Goodbye.
David's sitting in the chair. It's so scary.
Ugh.
All right, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
are here to review Dear David. We're going to start off giving you our first impressions. Those first impressions will be
Mhm.
spoiler free, and then we'll dive into a discussion. And when we do, those spoilers will bubble to the surface, and spoilers are to be had. We'll end up giving our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. And
Ooh.
we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend buttons. Each click helps us find more horror fans just like you. And yet they're out there, so help us find them.
Mhm.
All right, let's take a look at the card and get off my ugly face. All right, point. All right, Dear David. 2023 from Lionsgate and BuzzFeed Studios, available in theaters, on digital, and on demand on October 13th, 2023. The synopsis, and here's a long one for Jeff Mohr. Shortly after comic artist Adam responds to internet trolls, he begins experiencing sleep paralysis while an empty rocking chair moves in the corner of his apartment. As he chronicles increasingly malevolent occurrences in a series of tweets, Adam begins to believe he is being haunted by the ghost of a dead child named David. Encouraged by his boss to continue the Dear David thread, Adam starts to lose his grip on what is online and what is real, based on the viral Twitter thread by BuzzFeed comic artist Adam Ellis. It is directed by John McPhail and written by Mike Van Wees and Evan Turner, of course, based on the BuzzFeed articles. The cast includes Augustus Prew, Andrea Bang, Renee Escobar Jr., Cameron Nicole, and Justin Long,
Yeah.
who is in every horror movie this year, it seems. All right.
Because he's fabulous.
Fabulous. So, all right, let's get into what we thought. Christopher G. Mohr, you're up first. What was your first impression of Dear David?
Dear David.
Well, actually, I've perused the Twitter feed that this is based on, and it's really interesting. And it is kind of interesting how they kind of incorporate some of the elements into this story, but I find that the whole batch of tweets to be much more interesting and more compelling than this film. I do like some of the visual flourishes in parts where they incorporate the social media elements, but there's not that's not enough to really save a really bland, scareless,
Oof.
visually, some really bad special effects, bad editing, bad acting, bad dialogue that's very masturbatory and involved with BuzzFeed, where these people that's working at BuzzFeed, it just feels like written dialogue. It doesn't feel like anything normal people would say. I didn't like the main actor in this. I think I think a lot of it just has to do with the dialogue he's probably been given, but it's really, there are elements to make a good movie from this, but those elements weren't used to make this, which is kind of sad because I really like the director. Anna versus Apocalypse, I think, is amazing. But even towards the end, it's got, without being spoilery, but there's like a video game part that's just ridiculously horrible. And I'd rather watch NPCs on TikTok than watch that again. Yeah, I hate to be so negative, but and the ending is just horrible. It's a horrible ending. And I just hate it when they try to sort of, which is really sad because I think if you go and look at a lot of the stuff from the tweets and stuff that this is based on, it's really interesting. And again, they incorporate a lot of stuff, from cats and pictures and all that stuff he does or stuff he did during that specific time over a year or so. But the way it plays out doesn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, they definitely give this evil thing a whole lot more powers than what we're given it, which is, I guess that's what you do when you make movies. But overall, I'm not a fan of this film.
Oh man, I believe you. Jeez.
Yeah.
you sold that. All right.
Yeah,
Crystal Cleveland, what is your first impression of?
I'm depressed.
David.
I know. I think I've been beat down, and I'm afraid. I don't know what to say. I'm like, so I couldn't feel any more different about this film. I actually loved the lead actor so much. I feel like he carried the film. I feel like he actually made this film work better than it should have, because he's so precious and cute, and he's really expressive. The only thing I was like dying to do is like he had this like basic look, and I was dying to give him like a Viking haircut. That's all I was thinking. Like as far as like his style, I was like, orange hoodie, woof, so basic. But a Viking hairstyle in him would be amazing because he has great hair. I liked Andrea. I loved Justin Long. I think he wasn't in it all that much. He's just, coming in and making his little drops. But I mentioned this before. He's like, oh yeah, that was great. I'm dead. Like with deadpan, so funny. So when I heard about this film, I thought, oh God, this is going to be just awful. I can't believe they're making a movie on this. And that's what I went into thinking. And I came out really liking it. I will agree that the special effects they're all CGI and they're not good, but I was okay with that. The movie's funny. It's got lots of funny moments. It's not completely serious. It's not campy. It's just, I just had a good time with it. I guess I just didn't take it seriously enough to hate on it enough. And I truly think it was the lead. I think he's freaking adorable. Like he's a fabulous actor. I think he's just absolutely precious. I feel bad for his boyfriend in the film because I was like, it's hard to compete with that cuteness, like But
Was that what happened?
I feel like I was like, he's so precious. He's got a cute little face, and like I liked it. I thought it was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
All right. All
Mhm.
right. Jeff Mohr, sir, what was your first impression of Dear David?
Well, just to keep the string going, I kind of like the guy, the lead guy too. I thought he did a good job of showing his breakdown over a period of time and he was obviously having mental problems or was being affected by the spirit or whatever of David, but and imagining people saying and doing things that weren't happening, seeing different things on the screen that were leading him to alienate himself. So anyway, I love Justin Long too. I thought I'm a little surprised that BuzzFeed let him put their BuzzFeed all over. It's all over the place.
Well, they produced.
Well, because it's good advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but if
They also produced it. So.
Not to mention the fact that this is the kind of supervisors we have. Justin Long. This is how we treat our people. But that's.
I thought he was nice.
I guess we're supposed to understand anyway. But Justin Long was great. I liked the other characters too. I liked.
Yes.
What was her name? The girl Evelyn, was it?
Oh, I love. She's
I feel
fabulous.
stupid.
Oh, the coworker Evelyn. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
cute.
And Nor, I like Norris too.
the guy that
me
was
too. Yes, her. She was precious.
the guy that was his boyfriend, and so that stuff just comes apart right away, and it's like it's weird. You can tell a lot of time has passed. We're just getting snapshots of it based on where the relationship has gone. So I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it kind of put it together, and I thought, well, there's some creepy stuff in there, which I now find out since I live under a Twitter rock. We're really in this guy's feed, and thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the whole thing of it, right?
Yeah.
I must have been sitting in an easy to please chair because I had a great time with this. And but I wasn't really certain at first. This was a really strange experience for me because at first I'm watching this and I'm like kind of questioning the tone of the film because at times it's a comedy, like an office comedy. Other times it wants to be a serious horror film. And then other times it's kind of, like this drama thingy going on. But after a while, I kind of like really started to enjoy that weird setup. And it really was strange because like when they go in the office, it's the office comedy and it's really not, but then, toward the end of the film, I say the last act, it wants to be straight up solid horror, it's taking itself seriously. And it really it's like, this is so bizarre. What is going on? And I found myself really intrigued by that. I really liked I liked what I would say are the 2 or 3 leads, which was the guy that played Adam, Evelyn, and the boyfriend, whose name I can't remember. What was the boyfriend's name? Because he was always gone. Kyle, yes. But I mean, it is uneven. I'll give you that. But I don't know. And the effects didn't bother me at all. I didn't even really think of them as being bad effects because it felt like the tone of the film. So I just don't know how to explain myself. This might actually creep onto my top 10 list.
Oh,
at the very bottom, hanging on by its fingernails. But I'm like Christopher said. What movie did I watch? What did I watch? But let's get into some spoilers and maybe we can uncover what happened.
Yeah, Christopher. Come on, Christopher. Come on.
Christopher's just like, y'all crazy and mofos.
I just didn't think a lot of it was effective at all. I didn't find it humorous. I did not laugh once during the whole movie.
Wow.
I found it to be humorless. I found it to be scareless. I found it to be boring. I thought the dialogue was just like, it felt like written dialogue. It didn't feel like real characters. I didn't care about any of the characters. I think there was maybe one moment I thought was effective, and I think when we sort of see the flashback to how the kid died the kid got hurt. I thought the way that well,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I guess we're in Spoilerville, but I think what that was kind of effective, just the end result. But yeah, I mean, there was parts that made me cringe. Just the look of it looked like bad Photoshop kids, like things people would do a bad Photoshop of a ghost they saw. It looked that bad. And I feel like the movie is a disservice to Adam Ellis's tweets because it does not do a good job of because I think his stuff, I mean, it has the tweets have all that stuff I mean, he took pictures of his cats and had like videos of the cats. There was one part where he thought he saw like something moving out in the peephole of his door. There was some pictures that he would take with the camera or whatever that would totally black, because there's that one part where when he's looking in the hallway and it goes black.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some of that stuff was just like really bad special effects, and they tried to add this sort of like nightmarish thing with like the jittery of like a computer screen, which I thought was, I mean, other stuff I thought was kind of cool, but it felt like it was from a different movie. This is like it was bipolar with its tones, because like 1 minute it's like, oh, I'm being scared and this thing's scaring me. The next minute, like, ooh, tweet, everybody's following you. They're all falling like snow. And I mean, some of that stuff visually is cool, but it felt like it was a different movie. It felt like it was like a romantic comedy.
It does at times. It does.
Yeah. And it's like, it's like stick a tone there. I mean, I think you can still have like humor sometimes when you have the horror element, but I kind of wish they told it much more straightforward horror. I felt like this could have been a Paranormal Activity type story that could have easily been told, but I thought none of the things were effective editing wise. I mean, yeah, some of that
I'll
was
be honest
really...
with you. If they had gone totally serious, I don't think it would have worked for me.
I would have had its own tone, right? It would have its own.
Yeah, I would have critiqued the CGI so much harsher. I would have critiqued the comedy, lightened the whole feel of the film, which lightened my whole criticism of the film as well.
It felt like an SNL skit. The goofiness of BuzzFeed and the characters and stuff didn't feel like real people. It was just characters. Oh, let me make a crack about, I'm going to do top 10 of Dawson's Creek and stuff like that. It just felt like comedy writers writing it.
Those are the articles they write at BuzzFeed.
That's what they do, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything that came out of Norris's face. I
loved her, and she's like, I knew that would slay. I'm dead. Okay, like that's BuzzFeed.
And then
have you ever watched any of their
to see what I did there?
Yeah.
I was horribly funny.
Don't relish in it. Just let it go.
God. Yes. Yeah. I knew there were high stakes. It was like Slade and stakes.
Yep.
I knew the stakes were high or something.
I don't know. I guess
I loved it.
Again, like I'm going to plead that I was in my easy to please.
Maybe I watched a different movie than
because
I was cringing, and I was very flabbergasted by this film by the end. I think there's so many uneven, undone, bad parts of this that are just bad filmmaking.
Yeah.
When it ended, I was like, oh my God, what did I just see? This was so strange. And I started trying to find on my calendar where I could squeeze in another 2 hours to watch it again. I couldn't. There was no time. I wanted to watch this movie a la Jeff, and I wanted to see it twice.
This was like a Discovery Channel show. The special effects are as bad as the ghost shows, or like I met a ghost at my house or whatever. This feels like one of those really bad like shows where they interview people and then they show and they don't have the budget to actually make it look good. This is what this felt like.
Dear God.
Wow.
Didn't get that at all.
Sorry. I feel bad because it takes a village and it takes a great amount of effort to make a film, but I just had so many problems with this, and it's very disappointing because I love the director. I think there's elements of here that can make a really good film, but everything was wrong for
I'm
me.
sorry.
Well,
I
need to
feel
send-
bad that you didn't like it, honestly.
Yeah, I need to send my easy to please chair over your way for a bit. So it's a
Yeah,
what-
I
does it
wish I
rock?
could-
it rocks. It rocks, baby.
Oh, Jesus, God.
Oh, I don't want your chair.
No,
No, thank you.
no.
I'd rather have
Where
I'd
did
rather
you
have
go?
a-
Where'd you go with that, Crystal?
I'd
Where
rather
did
have
you
a
go?
ghost child
Draw
in
me
my
a
house
picture.
than your
Um,
stinky chair.
Stinky. Thank you. No,
How
all
he
right.
threw the chair out.
I-
would too.
I thought the rocking chair. Yeah, he threw the rocking chair.
Who of our age has a rocking chair though? Nobody, unless you have a
Oh.
baby, I guess.
I
So
don't
you
know,
can
but you
like,
got to have a rocking chair to make it rock. Jeff,
Yeah.
well, Jeff,
yeah,
Well,
you
it's a
do.
glider. It's not
I've
a
got
rocking
I've got
chair.
two
It's a
rocking
glider.
chairs in the back porch.
You better believe
on
it.
inside the house. But no, I thought the shots when the kid was in it was effective. Not when the rocking chair was just rocking by itself. I think they tried to oversell that, but when he would just peek around and see the kid. Yeah.
I liked the relationship. I loved his freak out at BuzzFeed when she asked for help with the article and like how he just
And he
completely
he
went
saw
off the
something entirely
rails.
different, right?
10 best
Yeah.
ways to kill yourself, and they were all pictures of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
know.
I don't know. It worked for me. I don't know why.
And I
Honestly,
liked-
it just did.
I like the transitions to the kid, because it felt old timey video stuff like the video. I think you mentioned it earlier, Christopher, but I thought given who the kid was, that made perfect sense to me, and it added to that, the Dear David part of it. Because every time he ended up in that room with the kid staring at the screen, you knew something bad was going to get ready to happen. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Jeff, help me out. Why do I like it?
You're sitting in the easy to please.
There you go. You listen. Boom.
Easy
All right.
please, child,
Oh God.
dead child.
I liked
Not-
it. I liked it too. I liked it too.
I was gonna say,
I don't think quite as much as you, but I liked it.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. And
I
wrap
think
this
I
up.
probably liked it the most, honestly.
I think you might. I liked it even more than me. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give it a score 1 to 5 and our
Mm.
favorite scene. How did I go
Christopher.
first? Christopher's first. Chris.
Oh,
Woohoo!
starting off,
Christopher.
starting off low and going high.
Well, what?
I'm not gonna say much more. 2,
Oh.
and I guess favorite scene would be how we find out that the kid gets hit like a deer in the headlights.
Oh, God. Does he
Pardon the
ever.
pun. But yeah, I think how the kid gets injured is the only real part I kind of appreciated.
Yeah, he gets whacked, but just goes coma. Yeah. Crystal.
So
You're up next.
I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
Nice.
And so there's a few scenes I like, but I'm gonna take one that I know y'all won't take, so y'all can have the rest because this is so dumb. After the freak out, actually, Justin's like trying to call. I don't know what his character name is. Don't care, Justin. You're Justin. Whatever. He's like, yeah, it's okay. He's like, hey, don't film, but good instincts though.
Yes.
I loved it. I died. I was like, that is good instincts. Come on, don't film, but good instincts. That's why the comedy worked for me. It was tongue in cheek. It was funny. It was, they're trying to have a thriving business, and be cool and hip, I guess, or whatever. And
Right.
it felt
When they-
like that's what they were trying to do,
Trying to be hip when they weren't.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right, Jeff. What's your score and favorite scene?
I'm going 3.5, and I too liked all the scenes Justin Long was in. I thought I'm going to say 2 scenes. If that's all right.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, it just creeped me out when he was like, I have had what I think is sleep paralysis, where I'm there and there's stuff going on around me and I can't move and I can hear everything everybody's saying, and it's freaky. So one of the things that got me was when he was in his sleep paralysis stage and he gets dragged out of bed and dragged
The
across
window.
floor.
Yes.
Well,
That
he's
was,
just sliding along the floor, and I'm like, what
Mhm.
the? Anyway,
yeah, that was a great scene.
I was going to say too the scene where he does something. I think it's maybe when he shows the picture. He draws a picture of the kid with half his head gone.
Ah, you stole my scene, damn you.
Oh well, I'll stop because
I
took
love the
two,
drawing
so.
of that. No, that's fine. That's
Well,
fine.
not just the drawing. The part I liked is when Justin Long calls him in, and you feel like, oh crap, he stepped over the line. Well, silly us, there is no line.
Yeah, of course.
He brings him into his office and says, I've been hearing from the guys from corporate about this, and I just wondered where you're going with this.
They want to get behind
Maybe
it.
we can do a web series. Yeah, let's really blow this up.
Don't lie, Christopher. That's what we'd be doing too. We'd be like, oh, that's a great idea. We should totally work that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 4.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, wow. Nice.
Which is less than Crystal's 3.75.
Yeah, but I'm harder.
Scales and things.
Well, that's what
my favorite scene, I was going to pick the drawing just because his artwork to me I really liked.
I love the style.
And then he drew this crazy looking beat-in head kid, and it looked so
sad,
messed up, and it was and it was so I just loved it. He's like and sketch but I don't know if you don't go there. I think it's when we didn't mention it, but there's these 2 kids that troll him at the beginning, and they do the two questions, and since Jeff and I shared the art piece. Different pieces of it. I'll mention this. And he, the one kid, they're both brats. They deserve everything to happen to them. But, well, maybe not as far as it goes.
Not completely, but yeah.
But you know what I mean. But the way he says you're going to die alone, and you're going to die alone in your bed, pissing your pants and crying for your mommy. And the look on his face. And then they laugh. Later. I don't know. It was like this is really what they wanted to play at the very beginning, but we get that other scene instead. It was just weird. But anyway, that's really the only other people that are really affected by this, right?
Well, I mean, everyone in his life is
outside of his life.
I mean, honestly,
but
I think they're all traumatized as well. Honestly,
I like that they brought his mom back into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think the drawing was actually the real drawing from his story.
Oh, was it?
I love his style.
Also, there is a moment in his story where he talked about being dragged by his arm, and he showed like bruises on his arm within his little Twitter thing. So, I mean, again, there are elements in there which, are straight from his story, and then other stuff.
Well, he has writing credit, so.
Well, the story by, but he, I mean, the shot of him being dragged across the floor was really well done, because you never really get a clear picture of what's dragging him, although but it's not really a part of what's happening. You just see it from his, like, right up on his face, and he's just being dragged along, and his eyes are the only thing moving. And Jeff, I like that as well. Thought that was really good. And then we find out what it's all about later, right? Don't we? With the hospital.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but you said you didn't like the ending.
I hated the ending.
I thought it was hilarious. I loved the game. God, I don't know, but I love games, and it was like
the game was horrible.
With the girl at the end, right?
It worked for me. I don't know.
It was
because
stupid.
I was
Pure
just like
stupidity.
It just felt like
a waste of.
It was such a strange thing.
Yeah, it's like it just took me out of the movie. Well, I'm very sad because I mean, especially knowing who directed it, because it's like it felt like something from another movie. It felt like when people do TikToks and this is me playing a game, and it was just this is bad. But I'm glad you guys liked it.
I was laughing at it, but
I'm sorry you didn't.
I found nothing funny. It was very cringeworthy for me.
It was also part of the what is this film doing kind of weirdness about it.
It felt like somebody had switched the movie to something else in the middle of the movie. It's like
it'd be interesting. Maybe the director has some behind the scenes stuff. Maybe something happened. I don't know. I don't know. All right, well, let's go ahead and get out of here. Jeff, Crystal, Christopher, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Christopher's like, beat me up.
We're trying. We don't know what happened.
No fireworks this time around.
No
All right.
fireworks.
All right, with that,
But yeah, that's
let's say goodnight.
good night.
Everybody.
Gruesome Magazine.